Hey there, party people. What's going on? It's Seth. It is Wednesday night at 10 o'clock, and that could only mean one thing. Well, it could mean a lot of things, but in this case, it means it's time for the happy hour with Seth. I'm using tall stools tonight. And I didn't shut that like crazy disco light thing. So you're going to see different like green spots on me and red spots, blue spots. It'll be annoying, but not nearly as annoying as I'll be. Um, on tonight's show, we of course have the snare drum of the week, which I'll speak of in a moment. We have the Great Snow Hoax. I was told 30 inches. 30 inches, if you know what I mean. It wasn't 30 inches. I said it would be a dusting, but we'll discuss that. We're going to talk about why a certain Long Island business or a certain Long Island industry is being targeted. And the Mets chair um, was actually a great idea. Brian said, it doesn't, you have no color. And I said, well, I can rectify that. Rectify. So he said, why don't you leave the Mets chair there? And I said, oh, I shall. I shall. I give credit where credit is due. I feel like I look like Rodney Dangerfield tonight. I mean, in a good way. So why that industry is being targeted, and if there's time, we're going to close out on a couple of interesting storage units. So I made sure that I'm going to tell a bunch of jokes I've already told because I know when Stan's watching, it bothers him. But let's jump right into the snare of the week. Um, and then there's going to be a callback later in the show because there's a sort of kind of new sponsor, a groovy sponsor, a groovy kind of love. And he's a good guy. Um, he's very handsome, a little opinionated, but we'll talk about that later. So, what is next to me, you might ask? Keep in mind, I use every snare drum, whether you're number one, number five, number 66, I use them all. I am going to stop at 69 because it'll make me giggle every time someone's like, "Hey, how many snares do you have?" I'll be like, "Oh, 69." So this is the Tama drum key because this is the Tama Grand Star. Now, I've heard it called two different things. Heard it called a Grand Star Artwood, and I've heard it called a Grand Star Masterworks. But this drum, it's somewhat heavy. It's birch with chrome on the outside. It has a really cool throw off system. Very cool. It's just a cool drum, man. The snares, the drum's 14 by 6. The snares are 15.5 inches, so they hang over the edge. I love this drum. I have sticks right in front of me, but I'm that lazy. So it has a great sound. It cuts through everything. I'm looking for, oh, the throw is by my fingers, I think. So it's the opposite. You put that lever up. Oh no, that's not the opposite. That's every snare drum. Okay, and I didn't even start drinking yet. So I really do like this drum. It's a very unique system. The throw, it's just a great drum. And again, it's from the 1980s. So if you think about it, look at the condition it's in for its age. I mean, the thing's 46 years old. When I was 46, I didn't look that pretty. It's a pretty drum. Man, that is a pretty drum. It's birch. I'm not sure if I mentioned that. And I do want to give a shout out. All of you musicians out there have ordered from Sweetwater. They're the biggest. But I don't know if they're the big. You know what? They might be the biggest. I think Guitar Center, because they own Musician's Friend, might be the biggest. Um, but really, size doesn't matter. That's what every guy with a small dick says. So size doesn't matter. I found these wires on eBay from. Oh, all right, you guys are going to get to see this. This little glimpse. When I was 40, I didn't need glasses. You know what I paid for these at the dollar store? $1.25. Virtue Drums. Virtue Drums. Jeff and the staff at Virtue Drums, he put a note in, personal note. Hi, Seth. I hear you're the world's okayest drummer and you are handsome AF. So I love this guy. He didn't really write that. He wrote you fat no, he wrote thank you for your purchase, blah blah blah. I hope the snare wires work out for you. At some point I'm gonna shut that disco light thing because it makes me look like I have, you know, some kind of, I don't know, jaundice, whatever. Whatevs, man. Whatevs. So that is the snare of the week. Tama Grand Star Masterworks. Chrome over birch, 1980s. It's 14 by 6.5. The model number is AW106 for all you gearheads out there. And I always say, all you gearheads, I am, especially with snares, I'm a snare geek, but I am definitely a gearhead. I did shut my phone. I had something planned for later in the show that would involve Alexa, but I'm so paranoid about using too much Wi-Fi because I don't have it hardwired. Next week, I'm going to hardwire it. So, yeah. So, this drum is awesome. I am thinning the herd, and I do have a bunch of stuff that's going to be up for sale, but we'll talk about that at the midway point of the show. Bam. The Great Snow Hoax. First of all, this morning's snow doesn't count in the big picture. That is a new sign right there. I saw the sign. It says, "Stop thinking, start drinking." Uh, Brian saw it. He thought it would be perfect. Wow, maybe he's like the set director or whatever you call that. I don't think it's a segment producer. I think he would be the set director. I'm the Seth director. So, the Great Snow Hoax, if you check my YouTube channel, I posted a bunch of videos because I insisted this was the Great Snow Hoax. Now, when you call something a hoax, I have learned that you really have to dig your heels in and be like, no, it's a hoax. Fake news, it's a hoax. The Great Snow Hoax. The Great Snow Hoax of 2026. I was so sure that we were going to get like 4 inches. You know, again, 4 inches. They were saying 30 inches. 30 inches. I think I've told you this before. You know, I'm about 14 inches, but I measure from the spleen. So that explains that. So on my YouTube channel, there are a whole series of the Great Snow Hoax videos. I wasn't going to send Bobby all of them because if you like what you see here, you can go on the YouTube channel and check them out. Also, I suck at technology. So I couldn't really, you know, if I sent it to him, ooh, first I need floppy disks, then I need to dial up so I can, you know, send it through electronic mail. Um, but Bobby's going to teach me some things with the computer to make his life and my life more enjoyable. And this way, it's not the big mystery of where the hell did he send that stuff? Sometimes I send in from my AOL account, AOL. It's America Online. I've been using it. My screen name is Seth Rock One, and I've been using it probably since this drum was new in the 80s. So, and I'll be using it until I'm 80 is what I feel like. But so the first video, I also spent the time uh, coming up with some witty snow humor, storm humor, winter humor, and let's just go to the first video. Starts right here in Club 4006.
Hey, what's up there, party people? It's Seth. And the happy hour with Seth is Wednesday night, 10 p.m. on Strong Island TV, on Roku, on Hulu, on Tuku, on all that other stuff. I'm hoping you don't see my reflection because I'm in underwear. Anyway, tonight's the night, man. Tonight is the I call it the Great Snow Hoax. The Great Snow Hoax of 2026. Mark my words. There is not going to be a monster 2 feet of snowstorm. That's horse shit. If you think there's going to be 2 feet of snow, then I have a bridge to sell you. And yes, I didn't buy that expensive pool table cover. I bought the Kiss flag for $10. So don't forget, Wednesday night we'll discuss the Great Snow Hoax of 2026.
The Great Snow Hoax. So I'm digging in, pun intended, saying they were saying 30 inches. 30 inches? Horse feathers. Seriously, 30 inches is like 2.5 feet, man. That's a lot of snow. Um, Someone posted, I think Bob Belushi posted, no relation to John Belushi, it's Bob Belushi. Um, he posted something like uh, a certain amount of snow, a shovel full of snow is 28 pounds or ounces. It was some crazy thing. And then he figured out the size of his driveway and he moved like 40 metric tons of snow or something like that. Um, it was the Great Snow Hoax. We did not get 30 inches. I am a big enough man, about 5'7", 185, actually now 184.2. But that's for next week's show. Um, I'm a big enough man to admit that I was partially wrong. Uh, I still say it was a hoax because because we didn't get 30 inches. So it's the Great Snow Hoax. Also, that's a great line, the Great Snow Hoax. It's a hoax. Obviously, I was incorrect because we got a shit ton of snow. They were right. Uh, Channel 5 in New York has Audrey Puente. Ah, she's awesome. Her dad was Tito Puente. As a drummer, Tito Puente. But she's awesome. Her brother wrote the song Get Off when he was in the band Foxy. Maybe next week I'll play it. And then I'll get a warning from YouTube saying copyright infringement. Get Off by Foxy. I love that song. I have it set in the caddy to be one of the like when it comes on any station, it pops up and it says Get Off is now playing on Studio 54. Would you like to change to that? Of course I would. That's why I saved it in my select tunes. I believe that's what it's called, Select Tunes. So you can check out part two of the Great Snow Hoax. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? Watch this. The Great Snow Hoax. How was that? I kind of dig it. Um, so the uh, the part two and part three and I think even part 4 are available on my YouTube channel. Um, Not on my OnlyFans page. That's something totally different. Can you imagine if I had an OnlyFans page? Can you imagine the people that would subscribe to my OnlyFans page? Frightening. Serious. Frightening. So let's go to the videotape.
I'm a big enough man to admit that I may have misjudged this snowstorm. I may have misjudged it. Perhaps it was not a hoax. I just shoveled this. And I shoveled my next door neighbors as well. Except I went up on their lawn. Look at this. Look at this. This is as tall as me. Guess where I parked the Escalade to clean it off? Yeah, so perhaps it wasn't a hoax. Perhaps it was a genuine snowstorm. When they said 2 feet, I said no way. However, I think they may have been correct. Look at that schmuck.
So, what an asshole I am that I even put in a dig. The poor guy's car is buried. And I'm like, huh, look at that schmuck. His fucking car is buried. Last time, the last snowstorm, I don't know what's considered a blizzard. I should have done a little research, but I'll have that for next time. So I originally was going to title my video, get ready, strap in, this is great. The Flurry Film. The Flurry Film. The irony was that it looked like someone was standing on the roof just dumping buckets of snow. It was insane. Insane. And the whole time I'm like, oh, it's a hoax. One of the videos on YouTube, they're all shot from my kitchen looking out in my backyard at my lawn jockey and my gnome, GNOME, my gnome. Uh, I'm not, I don't want him to hear this because I don't want him to be insulted. That fucking light is killing me. What if I did that? I don't think it does. Oh, that does. No, it doesn't do gig. So the gnome is like, he's, I don't know. I'm not into him, but I don't want him to know that. And I'm not going to get rid of him because I feel like that's bad juju. I feel like it's bad luck. So you leave the gnome in the garden, whatevs. You know, it gives the rabbits something to, I guess, pee on or whatever rabbits do to a gnome. Um, but the lawn jockey is a piece of Americana, a piece of American history. And I've mentioned this before, no bullshit. The lawn jockey was used for the Underground Railroad. And I like to think that if I lived during that time, I would have done something positive like that. And I wouldn't have been like, a Benedict Arnold who I wouldn't have been a traitor. I'm not, first of all, I hate that British accent. It's so condescending. It's like, I can't stand it. I can't stand the British accent. So for that reason alone, I feel like the United States should have uh, become independent. And, yeah, taxation without representation and all that stuff. There's a great meme that I put up every 4th of July. None of this is on the cards. What a shock. Great meme that I put up every 4th of July, and it shows the redcoats and a bunch of uh, colonial soldiers face to face, guns pointed at each other, and the redcoats say, "Give us all of your weapons," and the colonists say, "Fuck you." So that's history. That is history. Sometimes you have to adjust history and maybe make it so people make it relatable. Relatable. I had this discussion with a young lady friend today who said that she finds it offensive that the president uh, curses, that he says bullshit. And I'm thinking, well, everyone else says it. And she says, but he's the president. I said, right, but why can't he talk like a person? Like what? That would be like using a fake accent, like being using a fake accent. And every time he came to the mic, he'd be like, "Oh, hello, God bless America." And it doesn't have to be a particular country; it could be any accent. But I have no issues with the occasional sprinkling of vulgarity. And who the fuck cares? People curse. I think I told you guys. I think I told you guys this. Um, but the someone said to me, "You use the F word a lot." And I said, "What the fuck is the F word?" So, that's a true story, by the way. The Flurry film. Come on. The Flurry film. That's the shit right there. I think that's awesome. Um, so you're gonna have to humor me. I did send I sent Bobby, some photos from, Sunrise Highway right near the house, and I think each one is labeled. Look at that. 27 at Park Boulevard. This was in, like, the early stages. This wasn't, way into the you can see it's light out. Look at that. Look at that. And no, that's not me. My truck is white. White. This is 27 at Hewlett Avenue in Merrick. What the hoo-ha hey? The whole camera is fucking covered. So, status 11, I guess that means the whole camera is covered. This is 27 at the Wantagh State Parkway. So you can see the parkway has, 1 lane in each direction, and 27, that's a fucking plow truck. So all you see is what they plowed. That's crazy. This is right around the corner from my house, 27 at 135. I like to say 27 East. You know what? While that photo's up, I'm gonna kill that fucking light. So, give me 5 seconds. At 5, 4, 3. Oh, that's good. That's good. 2, 1. That was perfect. And here's, Hicksville Road at 27. Again, I like to say 27 East, New York's premier cover band, New York's premier party band. So that's 20 February 23rd, 2026. That's right smack in the middle of the Great Snow Hoax. So, westbound Southern State Parkway. Oh no, Wantagh State Parkway southbound. Goo. The goo. That's yeah, that's wow. That's no lanes cleaned. 0. So and people were out cruising around in that, cruising around. It was also cold. Segue. Whew. It was also cold. It was colder than my ex's heart. Um, so I came up with a few things. Some, are old standards. Are old standards. Some came from this mind. From this mind. I almost said mime. Uh, hey, to the guys who plow, see if I can do this without spilling any. To the guys who plow, thank you. Thank you. To the guys who salt, thank you. Uh, to the people who fucking push the snow from their driveway out into the street, you're assholes. But to the other two people mentioned, the other two groups, l'chaim, cheers, and thank you. It's a thankless job. No one, oh, big deal. He plows. He spreads salt. Well, that's so we all can drive. Thanks, guys. Mm, so good. So good. It really is delicious. White Claw peach. Yeah, peach. I wanted to double check that it wasn't the mango. Um, so what's the difference between a snowboard instructor and a snowboard student? Probably about 3 days. That's also a true story. So a group of Indians are getting very concerned over the weather. So remember, Massapequa was right here. I'm an honorary Massapequa Indian chief. Damn it, Massapequa chief. Um, I did buy a storage unit, and I have a cool satin jacket that says Massapequa Chiefs. So a group of Indians go to the chief, and they say, "Chief, is this going to be a very tough winter?" Chief says, "Yes, yes, it will. It will be a tough, tough winter. So I suggest you go collect wood." Now he doesn't want to look like a fool, so he calls the National Weather Service. The National Weather Service, and he says, "Hey, is this going to be a tough winter?" They said, "Yeah, it's going to be tough." A couple of weeks goes by. They get a snowfall, pretty big snowfall, just like the one we had, and the, the chief calls everyone together and says, "Guys, I'm the leader. I'm the chief. We got to go back and get more wood." So the tribe goes out and they're getting wood. And he's thinking, I better double check this. So he calls the National Weather Service and he says, "Hey, is this going to be a bad winter?" They said, "Very bad." 2 more weeks go by, maybe 3 weeks. And he says, "Guys, again, we got to collect some wood. We need to collect wood because I know I'm the chief. It's going to be a very bad winter." So they go out to collect wood. And he quickly runs to the phone and he calls the National Weather Service and he says, "Hey, is this going to be a bad winter?" The person on the other end said, "Yes, absolutely, guaranteed." And he says, "How do you know?" And the guy says, "Because the Indians are out collecting wood like crazy, like crazy." So the Indians collecting wood. Did I mention I have a Massapequa Chiefs jacket that's awesome? Wood. That card says wood, spelled correctly, Wood. Um, oh, there's the old saying, if you give a man a fish, he can eat, one meal. But if you teach him to fish, the guy's set for life. So if you give a man a jacket, he can go outside in the winter. If you teach a man to jacket, he's never leaving the house. Never. Here's an old ditty. How is sex like snow? Correct. Everybody talks about it, but it doesn't always happen. You're never sure how long it's going to last, and you don't know how many inches you're going to get. So that old gag. I shouldn't say, "Oh, this is my favorite," because then it's too much of a buildup, and then if you don't find it humorous, you have no sense of humor. So two fleas agree that, they're gonna meet down in Miami every winter. Just much, much easier. You go down to Miami for the winter. So these fleas agree to meet. One of the fleas gets down there. The second one gets there and he's shivering and he's so cold. And the first flea says to him, "What's your deal? Why you like this?" And he says, "Oh my God, I came from Newark all the way down to Miami in the beard of a guy riding a Harley Davidson." Oh, wrong sleeve. There we go. When they start giving me things like motorcycles, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. I'm gonna I'm gonna get tired of winning. Anyway, so he says, I came down in the beard of a guy on a Harley Davidson. I'm freezing. So the other flea says to him, listen, what you do next time, you go to the airport, go to the bar, have a couple of drinks, listen to the happy hour with Seth, watch it. Find yourself a nice stewardess. Make your way over to her leg, climb up her leg, and go to, go to somewhere that's warm and comfortable. That's what I do. So he says, oh my God, thank you for the suggestion. I'm going to do that. I'm going to go early and I'm going to do that. So next year, first flea gets down there. He's waiting. Second flea comes and he's shivering and he's freezing. So the first flea says, I told you what to do. He says, I know, I know. And I did what you said. I went to the bar. I watched the happy hour with Seth and I had a couple of drinks. I went over to a stewardess and I climbed up her leg. I found a warm, comfortable spot. I lay down and I fell asleep. And when I woke up, I was in the beard of a guy riding a Harley Davidson down to Florida. So that's what happens. You got to be more selective. Got to be more selective. It's the motorcycle. That's what gets them. That's what gets them. The stewardesses. The difference between a stewardess and a limousine. Not everyone's been inside of a limousine. Some of these I didn't even write on the cards. So Saul and Gertrude are driving. Saul and Gertrude are driving, and Stan, I told you this one 2 days ago at work. Saul and Gertrude are driving, and they get a flat tire. Saul says, "Don't worry, I'm going to go out and change the tire." How long could it take? He's out there, and it's fucking cold, and it's snowy, and it's cold, and he comes in, and oh, this is my Uncle Jerry's joke, actually, Jerry Graffman. So, great, now I'm gonna cry. It must be my cycle this week because 'cause I'm an emotional wreck, or it's the Great Snow Hoax. So, Gertrude and Saul get this flat tire. He goes out to change the tire. About 10 minutes later, he comes in, he says, Gertrude, I'm freezing. I'm freezing. Lift up your skirt." And he shoves his hand between her legs. She says, "What are you doing?" He says, "My hands are so cold. My hands are so cold." Goes back out. A few minutes later, he comes in. He says, "Gertrude, my hands are so cold. My hands are so cold." Puts them between her legs, starts rubbing. Goes back out, comes back in. And he says, "Gertrude, Gertrude." She says, "You son of a bitch. Don't your ears ever get cold?" "No." "Don't your ears get cold?" "No." That's the sound effect. So, I think that's, a beautiful love story about 2 elderly, Jews. You know why there's no strip clubs? No outdoor strip clubs. Ah, I just fucked it up, so we won't even talk about it. A man and a woman get assigned to the same train. It's like a transcontinental train ride. They get assigned to the same room. So, they're both standing there, and he says, "It's a little problem." She says, "No problem. I get the bottom bunk, you get the top bunk." So he says, "Okay." The evening goes on. They both get into bed. He goes to his top bunk, she goes to the bottom bunk. And about 1 in the morning comes. It's fucking winter. They're on this train. He says, "Hey, I'm so sorry to wake you, but I'm so cold. So cold. I saw an extra blanket in that closet right there." So she says, "Listen, just for tonight, why don't we pretend we're married?" So he says, "Yeah, yeah, let's pretend we're married. Honey, I'm very cold. Honey, I'm very cold." She says, Fuck you, then get down here and grab a blanket. That's how my marriage was. Then he passed wind because they're married, so who gives a shit? Um, so with that said, I think we're going to jump right to. I had mentioned a new sponsor, not to be confused with a nude sponsor. So Seth's Drum Shop. Where were you in '69? Smoking dope and drinking wine. I believe that's what the poet says. So, guys, I gotta thin the herd. I have so many drums, so many drums that I gotta start to thin the herd. I know that there's already a sponsor for the show uh, who sells musical equipment. I'm gonna focus on drums. I have a lot of vintage stuff. I have a lot of rare stuff, and we're gonna get rid of it. Yes, that is my custom kit pictured there. Um, Pretty much to the T. I mean, that's not how I set it up. I didn't have the tom straight like that. Anything you need, hit me up on Facebook, call me, attach a note to a brick, throw it through my window. But anything you need, if I don't have it, I could probably get it. I could source it. In the next 2 weeks, there's going to be a Sonar Rosewood kit, very rare teardrop kit, all original. It's just been cleaned up. A lot of Premier stuff, a couple of Premier kits, a couple of Premier snares, a lot of Premier drum hardware, a lot of Sonar 60s drum hardware, bunch of Sonar snares. So hit me up, guys. Good prices, huge selection. Again, a lot of rarities, a lot of rarities. I have some Zildjian cymbals that are I forget what they call it. They're trans. It's the trans stamp. It's between uh, one vintage era and the next vintage era is the trans stamp. I'm sure I'm saying it wrong, but I love everyone. So it's the trans stamp. Larry Scott Pro Gear. It's not just drums from Larry. Ludwig Larry has Ludwig drums out the hiney. Um, oh my. So he has I just grabbed tissues and dropped them on the floor. Tissue? I don't even know you. So Larry has all kinds of Ludwig drums. He has other drums also. Right now he has a bunch of beginner kits as well and some high-end stuff. Uh, he has some guitars that are off the charts. He has a Batman yellow and black Strat that's awesome, awesome. So, check him out. You can find him on Facebook. Tell him you saw it on the Happy Hour with Seth, and, and he will hook you up. If you go to him from Long Island, you have to bring him All American. That's a prerequisite, a prerequisite. And Go Granny Racing. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Go Granny Racing. So, my favorite name for a horse is Boom Chicka Boom. I got a horse right here. His name is Paul Revere. And there's a man who says it's very clear. You know, maybe I should pursue a career in musical theater. Um, nah, I'm going to stick to what I'm doing now, adult films. So Go Granny Racing, she is an expert on all things horse. Sulky, the jockey sits in the sulky and he is uh, driving the horse around the track. See how knowledgeable I am? Um, I know that from Stan. All American Burger. I don't see anyone going to all Russian burger or all wherever Venezuelan burger, but all American burger. Come on. The best. The best. It used to be called All American Drive Through. Ironically, Uncle Giuseppe's across the street about once a month has an elderly person actually drive through. So across the parking lot, oh, my nipples just got hard, no bullshit. Um, Across the parking lot is Marshall's Ice Cream. Marshall's Ice Cream Bar. If you go in, order the Seth. The Seth. Some of you are saying, "What's the Seth?" Well, it's vanilla chocolate swirled, vanilla chocolate swirled with rainbow sprinkles, and the tip is dipped in chocolate, just the tip. Um, it's awesome. Go in, order the Seth. If they pretend they don't know what it is just to be funny, you'll explain it to them. There are times where they don't know what it is. I don't understand that because I'm in there like 3 days a week. You don't get a body like this without eating a lot of ice cream. The other day, Stan showed up at work with only one boot on. So I said, "Bro, why do you only have one boot on?" And he said, "'Cause there's a 50% chance of snow." You can't argue with logic. Logic is logic. So I did have some, oh my god, memories. I remember when it would snow and my nana would just stare through the window. Nana. She'd stare through the window, and then my dad would yell at me and be like, "What are you, an idiot? Let her in the house. Let her in the house." So I did. Um, you know how cold it was last week? How cold was it? I saw a politician with his hands in his own pocket. The next one I'm debating, I wrote it 2 different ways. I said, "It's so cold out, plumbers are pulling up their pants." Then I changed it to, "It's so cold out, young black guys are pulling up their pants." Because I feel like that's, factually correct. Listen, I'm allowed to say these jokes because 'cause I'm a young black guy. White fucking chocolate. So I did have something hilarious planned with Alexa, but we're gonna wait on the Alexa because I'm so scared if I put my phone back on, Wi-Fi that I'm gonna fuck this all up, and Bluetooth and saber tooth and high fidelity and all that stuff. So, I did send Bobby a couple of storage units that I was oh, yeah, we'll do this, and then I'm gonna talk about the Long Island industry that's being targeted. So there were a couple of interesting storage units. I don't know if you guys remember a few months ago, I bid on a '69 Corvette. So this I had a high bid in of $10,110 because I felt like 10,110, like, I don't know, I thought the numbers made sense. I thought it made sense. So when I get a thing seeing that that's the final price, I jumped for joy. This was earlier in the day when I was at 8310, I was the high bidder. I knew it would go for around 10 grand. So I thought if I went a touch above 10, and sadly, uh, the auction was canceled because the guy paid for the unit. A few months ago, I bid on a unit with a Corvette, and I went back and looked, and it's the same fucking car. So he must pay the storage, you know, then he gets a few months, he coasts, then he owes a few months. It's right here on Long Island. You tell me that that car is not meant for me because it's meant for me. It's the Great Corvette Hoax. The Great Corvette Hoax. I'm going to run with this. I'm going to use this for everything. The Great Corvette Hoax. There was also a Mercedes that I was bidding on. This unit I won. Oh no, this unit I didn't win. This unit is fucked up because it says, motorcycles not included. So in the unit is like 4 or 5 really nice motorcycles and, like, some shitty tools and a bucket of manure. So some schmuck is bidding $2,000 when the motorcycles aren't included. Now, there is a way around that. You pay for it the minute you win, and you just fucking take the bikes and tough shit. You bought the unit. Legally, they can't really do anything. They could ban you from the facility. But what what's the point? You can sign a release saying, "Hey, I take responsibility for these. If there's liens, I'll deal with it. If there's tickets, I'll deal with it." And you take responsibility, but you don't I don't get why anyone would bid that kind of crazy, crazy money when it says bikes not included. That's a sweet bike right there. This one, um, I thought for sure it's a 2016, gives you the description, gives you the VIN. It says they couldn't check the VIN. I checked the VIN and it's fine. The car's in great shape. Car is in great shape. It's not far. What a shock, a white car on Staten Island. The Italians love the white cars. The Italians love the white cars. I mean, I enjoy a nice white car. Um, I like the Cadillac. I like the Escalade because no one ever said, "Oh, it rides like a Lincoln." No, they say it rides like a Cadillac. Oh, when I say that, my ninnies get hard. This is the one that I won for that premier snare drum that you see in the upper right. This unit turned out to have a couple of drum sets, um, video games out the ass. If anyone needs uh, PlayStation games and like the little Nintendo, I don't know, I'm not a technological whiz, but those little Nintendo uh, kind of Game Boy type things, and then the smaller ones that are half the size, boxes and boxes and boxes of them. So, I believe the term is uh, electronic games. It's not like the Mattel Electronics football. That was the shit. We have one here in Club 4006. We have a football and a Mattel Electronics basketball. I was very athletic in my youth. I played a lot of football, Mattel Electronics, and a lot of basketball. Guys, you're gonna see a code in the upper right, and, if you scan that, it takes you right to my OnlyFans. You'll see some questionable no, it takes you to my YouTube page, my YouTube channel, and what it is, it's, uh, youtube.com/at SethRock1. Or you could just scan the code. I did have a huge jump in subscribers. I think I went up, 3 or 4 this week. And, again, if you shoot me a message, if you subscribe and shoot me a message and you play guitar, I'll send you guitar strings. You play bass, I'll send you bass strings. You play drums, I'll send you drumsticks. You play with yourself, enjoy. I'm not helping that out. I'm not helping it out. Your loss, believe me, because I know what these hands can do. I have magic hands. Magic hands. He's a magic man, mama. He's got magic hands. Um, God, I could write a song like that. Oh, Hart already wrote it. I feel like they have a lot of hits. Let them give me one. Let them give me one. Friday night, Bobby has at Paradise Studios. Bobby has Bobby's mic. I call it Bobby's open mic, but you know, now they're saying more snow this weekend. The Great Snow Hoax again. All of this snow is nonsense to keep you from having fun, to keep you shoveling. Bobby's open mic, let me tell you, it's a good time. I've heard awesome things. I was gonna go last week. I don't remember why I didn't oh, I was working like an animal. Uh, this Friday, I think I'm taking off to, deal with some drums at Seth's drum shop, and then I have no excuse not to go. I could walk there. That's how close it is. I could walk there. Don't get crazy. I'm going to drive. So Bobby's open mic, and don't forget Matza Pizza. I think is March 8th, but uh, where are those dollar store glasses? You know what I paid for these at the dollar store? $1.25. March 8th, Saturday night, March 7th, I will be with Rod Stewart at uh, Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Atlantic City. I'm not playing drums, but I will be with him technically. I'll be right up front. Uh, so no one tell him because he'll probably cancel the show. Big fan. I saw him in concert for the first time last year. Arguably the best concert I've ever been to. And meanwhile, he's like, I don't know, 80 something years old. This guy fucking rocks. Rocks. Right. And the whole band is great. Whole band is great. And everything Hard Rock does is wonderful. I love Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Atlantic City. If you've never been, you gotta go. I love you, Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Atlantic City. I love you. So, guys, don't fall for these hoaxes. And again, check my YouTube channel. You'll see. Uh, yeah, I keep looking at that joke and it's calling my name, but I can't. I can't. You know what? I'm going to post it as a short on my YouTube channel. It's fucking. I can't. I can't. Anyway, I can't because I have siblings, and it's bad enough that I do the happy hour with Seth. That joke. I have siblings who love me. I don't want them to not love me because of the joke. Guys, see the good, be the good, have a great week. Don't forget Wednesday nights at 10. Same Seth time, same Seth channel for the happy hour with Seth. Have a great week, guys. See the good, be the good. Take care.